is up, everybody? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency, Idaho4 live. Let's just tell on Idaho. We're going to have this as a call-in show, but first, we have a new interview. Kennedy Fitzgerald interview. Connor dropped it. Again, if you guys do not know, you guys can find Connor's channel right here. Connor. He has a little puppy, a little, what is that? Golden Retriever. Gonna go right to it. Subscribe, click, all these things, awesome. Click it. Here we go. This was I knew we just needed this to reinforce the realities, which was, where was Xana? Xana was not at the treehouse at any time. Xana allegedly wasn't at the Whites at any time. So then this is more and more pushing the fact of why investigators are saying that Xana and Ethan were home by 2, in their rooms by 4, all that type of stuff. This is where Ann Taylor, though, was going to use, because something's amiss here. But again, a lot of people were drunk. They just might not remember things. But listen to this interview with me. I'm going to play it in its entirety, and then we'll break it down. It's 7 minutes and 54 seconds.
So basically what I'm trying to do is, I understanding that you were with that night?
Correct.
Okay, so what can you tell me, when did you first run into or any of the other gals, or even Ethan, who live in that house?
And we're at my home. They had gotten there, I think, around 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., and we're there for a few hours before we walked home.
Okay.
They had walked.
So you
Yes.
and were there?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And they showed up together?
No, had showed up an hour prior to, and had come. I'm not sure who she had arrived with.
Okay. So, but showed up about when?
I want to say 10:30, I think.
Okay. And where do you live? What's your actual address?
I live at
It's the true.
Avenue.
Is there an apartment number to that?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So showed up about 10:30, and then showed up a little bit later.
Correct.
And you said that was about 11:30, right?
Correct.
And she was with another female?
I believe so. She did not arrive alone.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really sure who she was with.
Okay. All right. And during that time, how long were they there then?
2-3 hours.
Okay. And you said you walked them home?
Yes, I walked them past the Whites.
Okay.
Those apartments, and then we had said our goodbyes, and I walked back to my house.
Okay. And what time was that at?
It was really late. I honestly, ballpark 2 a.m. I honestly don't know for sure.
Okay. Okay, so you walked back into the Whites. At what point did you stop?
Right in front of those apartments.
So you were still on Taylor Street?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you didn't walk up with them up towards that little walkway that goes up between the Whites and the other apartments?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Okay.
And honestly, I'm not even sure where they went after that. Just because I didn't want see what they did after that, if that makes sense.
All right, but you were on Taylor. You said goodbye. You turn around, walk back to your place.
Yes.
And did they at least start walking towards?
Yes, they walked, away from me.
Like towards that path, or continuing up Taylor Street to King?
Continuing up Taylor Street.
Okay. And was there anyone else with them, or was it just the two of them?
There was a group, but I'm not sure who was in that group.
Okay.
There was several people, and I didn't know all of them.
Male or female?
Female.
All female?
Yes.
How many other females do you think were with them?
3 or 4, I think. To be 100% honest, I was drunk, so.
I have a feeling a lot of people were drunk that night, so.
Yes. So this is all kind of, I'm, trying my best to recall.
No, and that's all I'm expecting right now. I know that this may not all be 100% accurate, but we're just trying to get a timeline still.
Yes.
When everybody was in certain places and certain locations and that. Because one of the information we got of why we should probably talk to you is whoever passed this on to us thought that you were with, and I think her name's pronounced Zana.
Zana. I did not see Zana that evening.
Okay, and that's kind of what we were thinking, but we just needed to make sure. That's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you as well. But
yes, I did not see her.
Okay.
That evening.
Do you think that both were pretty drunk at the same time?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. Do you know anyone named?
I do. She was also at my home that night.
Okay. Do you know her last name?
I do not know her last name.
Okay. Do you know where she lives, or is she associated with any sorority houses or anything like that?
I believe she's her last name.
Can you spell that?
I believe.
Okay.
I can double check actually right now.
Okay. Well, I'll let you do that here in just a minute, and then you can just text me her name if you verify it or anything like that for me.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. So after you guys were at the house, I'm assuming you guys are partying, drinking, things like that. You walk them back over towards their place. The group continues on. You go back home, and that's the last that you saw her?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that is all I need from you. The only other thing I just want to touch up on real quick, I have your address, have your phone number. What is your middle initial? Okay. And a date of birth for you? Okay. And if you're heading to, and I'm assuming you have an Idaho driver's license?
Correct.
All right, perfect. Okay, well, thank you for taking the time to kind of give me a little bit more information in that.
Of course.
Like I said, if you can find out her name for me, her last name, and that if you could just text it to the number I called you on, I would be very appreciated.
Okay, will do.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and be safe, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. So this interview was on 11/14. So this is really important. If she's being interviewed on 11/14, right? That means that the information of where this came from, that Xana was with her, could have only come from a handful of people. That means anybody that would have been interviewed on 11/13 leading up to this girl's interview, who is, by the way, Kennedy Fitzgerald. She was on Ann Taylor's witness list. Okay, so we're going to go back to the beginning here. Again, this was just 7 minutes and 54 seconds, and this was Blaker. And so his purpose for this was to find and track down Xana. Okay. Just to find and track down Xana.
So basically what I'm trying to do is, I understanding that you were with...
Okay, normally what happens here is you would have your recording device starting when you're calling somebody, so you would hear the ring, you know what I mean? And someone says hello. Like, so this is not being recorded right away. That's the first thing I noticed. Again, I'll back it up.
So basically what I'm trying to do is, I understanding that you were with
Bethany is what he just said.
night?
Correct.
Okay, so what can you tell me? When did you first run into or any of the other gals, or even Ethan, who live in that house?
And we're at my home.
Bethany and Dylan is what I gathered right there.
They had gotten there, I think, around 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., and we're there for a few hours before we walked home.
Okay.
They had walked.
So you and Dylan were there?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And
We walked home.
okay.
They had walked.
So you and Dylan were there?
Bethany and Dylan were there, okay?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And they showed up together?
No, had showed up an hour prior to, and had come. I'm not sure who she had arrived with.
Okay. So, but showed up about when?
I want to say 10:30, I think.
Okay. And
Okay. Now, again, based on all of this, one could ask themselves, did Dylan ever go to the Sigma Chi party? If you want to think that she showed up at this house at 10:30. Because remember, according to until I was able to show you guys, like, no, this is all off an hour because of where you're looking at stuff. You're then looking at it in Boise time versus Moscow time. So depending on where she was located, if you're looking at your phone, it's just going to tell you it in Boise time. But then you have to remember that, so it was Boise time this time, but it was this time when I was in Moscow. Okay. So if she stayed in Moscow the whole time and didn't leave yet, right? Then everything should be based off of Moscow time. If, regardless, remember, everybody was drinking. This means that Dylan did not stay at Sigma Chi, regardless on if her times, even if it's 10, and she really means, I mean, it was 11:30. It does not matter, because ready for this part is Bethany and Dylan did not stay at Sigma Chi very long at all. And Mark's like, I think Kennedy's address is this. Well, I can tell you it's right in front of where Jack Showalter's apartment is if you walk straight down. So that's what I can tell you. But this is important because this is the Sigma Chi party. Sigma Chi party, right? Bethany and Dylan dipped like almost immediately, right? And remember what made sense to me is that what's her name? Dylan says, when I was leaving and going to Sigma Chi, I saw Maddie. Maddie had the case of White Claw. Okay. And she was going, and she's like, where'd you see her? Remember, like, whereabouts was that at? So, and she's like, what was your route? How did you travel? Like, where did you see her?
Where do you live? What's your actual address?
I live at Avenue.
Is there an apartment number to that?
Nope.
Okay.
That's how I know that she lives at the tree house, because it's just one big house, and a bunch of girls live there that were AFIs.
All right. So showed up about 10:30, and then showed up a little bit later.
Correct.
And you said that was about.
And how wouldn't you ask? How do you know that it's 10:30? Like, is there something? Yeah, that's like I would be asking. Like, okay, so you saying 10:30, 11:30? I know that you were drinking. So, is there something that's telling you why you're saying 10:30 and 11:30? Blaker just, and this just tells me that he has already talked to her, and he's like, okay, well, I have to record this, so I'm gonna have to ask you some of these questions again, but just so I can have a recorded statement. Okay. Remember at the beginning, there's no ringing. Hey, is this, Kennedy, hi, this is, Detective Blaker. There's none of that. And that just should all be recorded, and it's just not. It's a bunch of shit.
At 11:30, right?
Correct.
And she was with another female?
I believe so. She did not arrive alone.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really sure who she was with.
Okay.
And that's where it's going to come out that I think Ann Taylor determined that this could have potentially been Yessie. Okay, but because Yessie was on her witness list. Or maybe Yessie was going to say that, so we have to go back and look at Yessie's interview.
All right. And during that time, how long were they there then?
2-3 hours.
Okay. And you said you walked them home?
Yes, I walked them past the Whites.
Okay.
Past the Whites. Past the Whites. Guess who's just waiting over there past the Whites that pulls off after dropping off Maddie and Kaylee? Well, Eric Gower likes to pull off the side over there, for the record. But why are you walking them? Like, what are you going and getting? Let's just be honest. Past the Whites. Guess who's over there? In the Whites parking lot. The plain clothes motherfucking people. Okay? Like, that's where everybody is at. But she says that she walks past the Whites. Which, guess what? When you walk past the Whites, that's right after where you would see to go and make a left really quick if you want to go up those stairs.
Those apartments, and then we had said our goodbyes, and I walked back to my house.
Okay. And what time was that at?
It was really late. I honestly, ballpark 2 a.m. I honestly don't know for sure.
It was really late. For her to say it was really late. Now, in reality, we're more like looking like this is where it's like something doesn't make sense here, right? You walk them home and it was really late. And you're like, it was like 2 a.m. Well, guess what? Dylan says that she got a party driver to take her home and Lakeland at like 12:30 a.m. And she wasn't walked by anybody because her and Lakeland took a Sobro. But we did our homework on that and we're like, Sobro, like, what the fuck?
Okay.
She's over here saying that I walked with Bethany and Dylan together. And again,
Okay.
they'd be asking questions like, how are you gauging this time? Like, who have you talked to? Have you talked to anybody? Have you talked to anybody? I mean, Blaker, what the fuck are you doing?
So you walked into the whites. At what point did you stop?
Like right in front of those apartments.
So you were still on Taylor Street?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so you didn't walk up with them up towards that little walkway that goes up between the whites and the other apartments?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
She didn't tell you that they walked up there, though. She said that they continued on to Taylor.
And honestly, I'm not even sure like where they went after that. Just because I didn't want see what they did after that, if that makes sense.
All right, but you were on Taylor, you said goodbye, you turned around and walked back to your place.
Yes.
And did they at least start walking towards?
Yes, they walked, away from me.
Like towards that path or continuing up Taylor Street to King?
Continuing up Taylor Street.
Boom. Continuing up Taylor Street. They did not go and use the fucking path. That is huge. Why would they keep going on Taylor Street? Okay. Why wouldn't they go up the path to cut it right after the whites? You go right past that to get to go the cut through, which is the steps. Right there, you would ask. So they didn't walk towards going up the steps?
Okay. And was there anyone else with them, or was it just the two of them?
There was a group, but I'm not sure who was in that group.
Okay.
There was several people, and I didn't.
Okay, if there's a group, why are you walking with them? Like, why am I just want to walk with you guys. Like, hey, okay, we're leaving. Okay, bye guys, love you. Like, see you tomorrow type thing. No, I'm gonna walk you just to like, wouldn't you ask? Like, so do you normally like walk like, so you just walked with them? Why? Did they say they were scared?
No, all of them.
Male or female?
Female.
All female?
Yes.
How many other females do you think were with them?
3 or 4, I think. To be 100% honest, I was drunk, so.
I have a feeling a lot of people were drunk that night, so.
Yes. So this is all kind of, I'm, trying my best to recall.
No, and that's all I'm expecting right now. I know that this may not all be 100% accurate, but we're just trying to get a timeline still.
Yes.
When everybody was in certain places and certain locations and that. Because one of the information we got of why we should probably talk to you is whoever passed this on to us thought that you were with, and I think her name's pronounced Zana.
Zana. I did not see Zana that evening.
Okay, and that's kind of what we were thinking, but we just needed to make sure.
Why? What do you mean that's kind of what you were thinking? Why? Why is it because, so then this tells me that because Bethany and Dylan didn't say Zana was with them, right? So who's telling you that Zana was with Kennedy? Because Kennedy, you have here saying, I did not see Zana. She doesn't say I didn't see Ethan. But who? And guys, there's only so many people that were interviewed before this interview, which is amazing because we can narrow it down. And we know who was like calling out names. Like, was it Jenna? Like, who did Blaker interview? Who was Blaker's interview on the 13th? Who did he interview? Well, he interviewed who? Who did Blaker interview? Because that's why he would be following up here.
That's one of the reasons why we wanted to talk to you as well. But
yes, I did not see her.
Okay.
That evening.
Do you think that
I did not see her that evening? Like, you're not going to say, did you see her at all? Was she at your house at all? Were you guys having a party? So she was never there. She never came to your house.
both wanted to talk to you as well? But
yes, I did not see her.
Okay.
That evening.
Do you think that both were pretty drunk at the same time?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay.
I would have asked her, where did you go that evening? Because if you didn't see her that evening, you want to check off all the locations that she was at. So did you just stay at your house that evening? Like, you didn't see her that evening. Ann Taylor was calling, Ann Taylor specifically wanted her.
Do you know anyone named
Lakeland?
I do. She was also at my home that night.
Okay. Do you know her last name?
I do not know her last name.
Okay. Do you know where she lives, or is she associated with any sorority houses or anything like that?
I believe she's at her last name.
Can you spell that?
McComas? Like, really?
I believe.
Okay.
I can double check actually right now.
Okay. Well, I'll let you do that here in just a minute, and then you can just text me her name if you verify it or anything like that for me.
You can just text me.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
You can just text me. You can just text me. Text me. See how they were talking before this? You can just text me here in a minute.
After you guys were at the house, I'm assuming you guys are partying, drinking, things like that, you walk them back over towards their place. The group continues on. You go back home, and that's the last that you saw her?
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right.
That's the last that you saw her? Wouldn't it be them?
Well, I think that is all I need from you. The only other thing I just want to touch up on real quick, I have your address, have your phone number. What is your middle initial? Okay. And a date of birth for you? Okay. And if you're heading to, and I'm assuming you have an Idaho driver's license?
Correct.
All right, perfect. Okay, well, thank you for taking the time to kind of give me a little bit more information in that.
Of course.
Like I said, if you can find out her name for me, her last name, and that if you could just text it to the number I called you on, I would be very appreciated.
Okay, will do.
All right. All right, well, thank you very much, and be safe, okay?
Be safe. Okay, so what do you guys think? Lana, there's a whisper when she talked the last name. Yeah, because she's in the car with somebody else. What do we think? That them I thought was weird. He wanted private details not to put on audio. Yes, that was it. And is this a phone interview? Yes. And at the beginning of the interview, I showed you guys that there was no ringing of like here when she calls, like it's just here's the conversation. That's just not what happened there. We would want to know, I think, Ann Taylor, like, how often were you texting with Blaker? Like, What else? Remember, they're in a group. She's a huge witness and it changes the whole timeline. Well, then it comes into what we're going to talk about here is that supposedly Lakeland McComas has these, Lakeland McComas has these obviously pictures of, it's almost like, how do I want to say this? Just because Lakeland McComas left, Lakeland McComas leaves, right? That doesn't mean that just because Lakeland McComas left, and she's like, I went home. I go home, and so we can put Lakeland. That's even if this is the person they're talking about. We can put Lakeland back at the house because she's at her sorority at like 2:13. She's taking a picture of like some bagel or some shit. But did Bethany and Dylan leave after and go back over to this girl's house? Like, how was she thinking that it was so late if you're walking somebody over there at 12:30? She's like, so it was like 2? Like 2? That's why you would ask, like, why do you think they got there at 10:30 or 11:30 and that they were there for a couple hours? And then here, like, that just doesn't make any sense because if they got there at that time, do they have no concept of time? That if they got there at that time, that they wouldn't have been there that long at all. And she's over here like, yeah, they were at my house for like 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, 2 a.m. But I'm letting you guys know this. 2 a.m. can't be right. Okay. The reason I'm saying 2 a.m. can't be right is because we have Lakeland McComas inside the 1122 King Road house way before that. And we have pictures of Dylan laying on the couch. Okay. So there's things that you can prove have that all fucked up. Okay. But you guys, this is something that was asked of these people on the 14th. Like, it's not like this interview took place on like a week later. $708 here and counting. Make yourself known. 708. Make yourself known. Do we have any more information about Dylan's journal? Nope. We're over here talking about Heather Fitzgerald. Sure don't. So okay. Which person said to talk to Natalie Fitzgerald in an interview who coughed up her name? What's up, Sarah? What's up? Fuck you, Blaker. This is the shittiest interview I've ever seen in my fucking life.
So basically what I'm trying to do is, I understanding that you were with that night?
Bethany.
Correct.
Okay. So what can you tell me? When did you first run into or any of the other gals or even Ethan who live in that house?
And we're at my home.
Bethany
they had gotten there, I think, around 11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., and we're there for a few hours before we walked home.
Okay.
They had walked.
So you and were there?
Yes, correct.
So it says that's like 1:30. We're getting hotter. We're getting like warmer with like She's just off and she says 2.
Okay. And they showed up together?
No, had showed up an hour prior to, and
Okay, right there, an hour or 2. Like, who showed up first?
Okay. And they showed up together?
no, had showed up an hour prior to.
Okay,
And
so Dylan shows up an hour prior to. Dylan shows up first. So that's putting Dylan, like, I'm not even playing around here. That's putting Dylan at that Sigma Chi party for like no time at all.
I'm not sure who she had arrived with.
Okay. So, but showed up about when?
I want to say 10:30, I think.
Yeah, because she's saying that the reason she's saying 10:30 is because she said 11:30 for Bethany. You guys, Dylan wasn't at Sigma Chi, but for like, I'm saying 20 minutes. She left her home. She left 1122. Yeah, she was there for like no time. Dylan. And remember somebody saying she really wasn't feeling it. Like she like didn't want to drink. She wasn't feeling it. She wasn't getting drunk. But here
Okay. And where do you live? What's your actual address?
she lives
I
in the
live at
treehouse.
Avenue.
Treehouse.
Is there an apartment number to that?
Nope.
Okay.
You wouldn't ask, like, did you see Jack Showalter that night? Did you see the guy that's like the hoodie guy that everyone's talking about? Did you guys see him? I mean, what a lame motherfucking interview. And I think these questions were asked, but none of it was put on recording device. Blah, blah, blah. I think Natalie could potentially be a CI. Totally believe that, because why else are we not just firing it up right away?
All right. So showed up about 10:30 and then showed up a little bit later?
Correct.
And you said that was about 11:30, right?
Correct.
And she was with another female?
I believe so. She did not arrive alone.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not really sure who she was with.
Okay. All right. And during that time, how long were they there then?
2-3 hours.
Okay. And you said you walked them home?
Yes, I walked them like past the Whites,
Okay.
those apartments, and then we had said our goodbyes, and I walked back to my house.
Okay. And what time was that at?
It was really late. I honestly, ballpark 2 a.m. I honestly don't know for sure.
Okay.
This means Dylan had no eyes on Xana, okay, and Ethan, possibly at Sigma Chi. After 10:30, again, Bethany arrives at 11:30, so she had no more eyes on anybody at Sigma Chi after 11:30. Okay, and then the thing that should just blow everybody's mind right here is that Kennedy is stating that the girls, that they walked the girls home together to that point. And so what that would mean is that then Bethany and Dylan separate. Dylan goes home and just it's like, yeah, so-and-so was so drunk. I had to get a sober driver for her though. Unless this is later. Okay. Unless this was way later and she's recalling like something that actually happened, like, but how I'm seeing this is that Dylan and Bethany separate on Taylor. They separate on Taylor. And Dylan goes home. And Bethany decides to go somewhere else, right? So let's go back and hear Bethany. Okay, this is going to be important. We're going to go right here to where Bethany says, Beth.
Who's all here. So myself, Sergeant Blaker with the Mossy Police Department, and then I have
Sergeant Matthew Wen.
with the Nevada
It's technically now Nevada State Police.
Crime Zeros.
Mm-hmm.
Both fraternity members.
Mm-hmm. They're
From the corner club,
okay.
Because we knew that Kaylee and Maddie had come from the corner club. Okay. Do you know the password or username for the Spectrum account?
She worked for a company.
That might be able to help direct us in the right direction.
Not really that I can think of. No, it was just like a little.
Probably
It might have been like
button
a little
that she can
shock or yeah.
And you said,
Yeah.
can you spell it, please?
What do you know about one you know?
All I know is that he's super nice. He was friends with and all of them.
You're fine.
And wasn't there in like 11:30.
There we go.
Okay. Were you guys drinking here at this point?
Yes.
To be honest, right now I'm trying to follow mostly your day.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we can start placing in some of, like, when Madison and Kaylee were there, Ethan and Zana were there. That's kind of the group I'm trying to follow for the most part. Okay. So then you're here was this a pre-funk before going to the game, or was this just a...
I don't think most of us were going to go to a game. Just like hang out with people.
Okay. Were you guys drinking here at this point?
Yes.
Had you been drinking before?
Yes.
Okay. What time did you guys start drinking?
Maybe like 11:30. At a point.
When you started?
Yeah. At that point?
Just throughout the night?
Mimosas. You put like either a little bit, that's like
And you could wind up drinking a whole lot.
I don't.
Still light outside when you left?
Yes, but it was like foggy out, so it looked a little darker.
Okay.
It was after 3:48.
So sometime after 3:48?
And we're still there.
Okay, so, alright. So what would be the next thing then? When you and Zayna left, where'd you go?
This place. What else?
So that would be the other house down the road a little bit. I know that address then. I don't need you to give that one to me. So you and Zayna left there.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you at the place?
Not that long, I don't think. I texted Maddie and asked if they all went home, and she said yes, and then we left like shortly after that.
Okay, what time is that at?
Like 4:51.
Okay, and you went home?
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I'm questioning if she went to the treehouse then. She says, I didn't see Xana that evening. Maybe she's not considering, like, I saw Xana earlier, you know what I mean? I didn't see Xana that evening.
All right. what was next for you after that?
We all made food and sat on the couch and just talked for a little. And Kaylee went to her room, I think. That's
All right.
We all decided that we were going to take a nap and set our alarms for 8 o'clock to wake up and start getting ready.
Okay. And did you go take a nap?
Yes.
In your room?
Yeah, we all took a nap in our own rooms.
Okay.
Maddie might have been with Kaylee, though. Elementary.
And did you get up at 8 or did you get up before that?
I got up, at 8.
You went to your room and laid down?
No.
Wait.
Yeah.
No.
You went to your room and laid down?
No. Maybe 6-ish.
Okay.
6:30-ish, something like that.
So obviously you started drinking earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Were you still fairly regularly drinking up until the point you went and took a nap, or did you kind of slow down a little bit at some point?
Slowed down a little, I would say.
How many total drinks do you think you had by
Oh,
No,
fucked up.
I'm sorry.
is for two. One, trying to still be able to judge. We ever go to trial in this, a good defense attorney is going to try and go after all of our witnesses for being too intoxicated and not being able to know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can get ahead of that, that's my curiosity. If you're a college kid, you were drinking, I don't care.
Yeah.
There it is, Blaker. If we're gonna go up against a really good defense attorney or any defense attorney, they're gonna come after us saying that our witnesses were drunk. And so we're gonna try to get ahead of that. But how are you trying to get ahead of that? How does one get ahead of that? Do you see this? How do you get ahead of it? It is just what it is. You can't make people into anything that they're not.
I really don't. So if you don't remember though, and that's
I know
fine.
how much I had throughout the whole night.
Okay. How much do you think you had total?
A 12-pack of high noons throughout the whole day.
And what is high noon?
Plus your mimosas, right?
Yeah.
So what do you mean by a 12-pack of high noon? Is that wine? Is that beer?
It's like a seltzer.
A seltzer. So similar
It's
to a White Claw?
4.5%. Yeah.
Okay. And how big are the containers?
Just like a White Claw.
So,
I don't know, actually.
or,
Yeah.
so still probably about 12 ounces.
Winco.
Okay. I can look there. And do you know how many mimosas you have?
2?
They have shots in it?
No, champagne.
Just champagne?
Just like a regular little wine glass, I think.
Did you have this before the nap, or does it include after you got up from the nap?
The mimosas was before.
No, and the
The high noons.
yeah.
Some of them were before and some of them were after.
Okay. For later in the night?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't remember how much you drank total an hour?
How did you carry your high noons around? In a book bag. How else are you going to carry this around? You understand? So did you have a book bag?
I don't think a lot, but
Were you still drinking primarily your high noon, pouring it into the glass, or was there other?
I was out by then, by the time I went there, so
Okay. So it's
just whatever was.
something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What?
So after you get up to get ready,
Mhm.
around 8 o'clock, right?
Mhm.
So you get up at 8 p.m. Now you guys are getting ready for what?
Sigma Chi.
What time did you head over there?
Well, me and Maddie, Ethan and Xana, and then one of Ethan's fraternity brothers.
Well, here we go.
Well, me and Maddie, Ethan and Xana.
Me, Dylan.
So you get up at 8 p.m. Now you guys are getting ready for what?
Sigma Chi.
What time did you head over there?
Well, me and Maddie, Ethan, and Xana, and then one of Ethan's fraternity brothers. Went around 9-ish, maybe.
Right at 9, before 9.
I don't know.
If you guys were along to get ready.
Yeah, not really.
Okay. Do you know who this other fraternity member was?
He's a freshman, that's all I know. I don't know his name, though.
So you guys go over there.
Holy shit, this is a lie. Hold on a second. This is the person that nobody could put over at 1122. Who from Sigma Chi was at 1122 that was with Ethan, Xana, Dylan, Maddie, her, and this freshman? Who is it? Remember, Dylan didn't leave right away.
Around 9-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go straight? Where did you go to? Because there's the individual apartments and then there's the main portion of the house.
Well, actually, me and Maddie left first.
Okay.
They weren't that far behind us, though.
Holy shit, wait. Then she's like, well, actually, me and Maddie left first. So now she's 1000% putting a freshman, Ethan, Xana, and Dylan. But Dylan's over here like, I was working on a psych project. My paper.
They're just a little behind us.
Okay.
And we went to our friend's room to put our drinks in there.
Okay.
And then we sat there for a second, but then went and found Xana and Ethan in Ethan's brother's apartment.
Okay.
Then we went and found Ethan. So then she wouldn't know. Then there is potentiality here that Xana and Ethan were in his brother's apartment. And so you don't know how they got over. You don't know if they walked or they drove.
Okay.
And then we hung out with Ethan, Xana, and Ethan's brother
Yeah.
for a while.
Okay.
And then people would like come in and out, just say hi and talk and stuff. And then Maddie said that she was leaving to go to the club.
Okay. Where was Kaylee at this time?
At our house getting ready to go to the club.
So Kaylee never came over with you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So then Maddie presumably then walked from there back to your place and then they left?
Yes.
What time was that at?
I do not know. It was, I can tell you after time. It was after about 9:09, but
Sometime after 9:09?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're now still in its apartment, right?
That doesn't make any sense. They walked there at what time? You guys know that Ethan was at a formal, right? Let's take a look at this book.
yes.
So now it's you. Is still there?
Came a little later. Oh, I guess she didn't leave with us. She came later because she had to finish homework.
Okay. So now at this point it's you, Xana, Ethan, all hanging out in the place.
Yeah, and was there too.
Okay. And then
came, I believe. I don't really remember what time she came. And then one of my friends, yeah, he came.
Do you know last name? I think that was the one you couldn't tell me last time.
Her full name is something else, but it's super long.
You guys, this is hilarious. 9:08 to 9:10. Dylan takes 12 photos. Remember? She wants to say after 9:09. After 9:09 is when she knows that it had to be after that Maddie walked back. At 9:06, Ethan, Maisie, Hunter, Chapin, Reagan, all these people arrive back at Kappa Alpha Theta at 9:06. At 9 o'clock, Maddie and Bethany leave King House to go to Peter's apartment at Sigma Chi. Ethan and Xana came over after Bethany and Maddie. This is Bethany's interview on 11/16 from the book at 9 o'clock. Maddie calls Xana. Maddie calls Xana at 8:59. At 8:07, Ethan tells Xana he is going to her house to change. At 8:06, Ethan arrives at Hunga Dunga Brewery at 8:06. Do you guys see how this is absolute wildness? Per Maisie Chapin says that we arrive and Riley arrive at Hunga at 8:06. Ethan tells Xana he is going to her house to change at 8:07 via a text in Ethan's cell phone from his extraction. Kaylee sends Dylan an Instagram message at 8:57 because it's the pictures of that night. Dylan sends Kaylee an instant message saying, "Can you please send me those photos, please?" Maddie calls Xana. 8:59. Maddie and Bethany leave King House to go to Peter's apartment at 9. 9:02. Ethan, Maisie, Hunter, Darius, Jack Katovich. That's who I think Ethan was with, is Jack Katovich. And they leave Hunga Dunga Brewery per Maisie Chapin's interview with Vargas at 9:02. 9:06, Ethan arrives back at Kappa Alpha Theta Ford Explorer logs. 9:06. 9:09, Maddie leaves Sigma Chi party to meet Kaylee and go to the club at 9:09. That is not what the fuck she says. You fucking idiots. She says it was sometime after 9:09 because she's with me at 9:09. How are you determining that? Again, you'd have to ask some questions. He just is fucking like, okay, let me just write this down. Let me see what's up next. Dylan's taking 12 photos at 9:08 to 9:10. Dylan then calls Maddie at 9:18. 9:21, Explorer, believed to be driven by Ethan, leaves Kappa Alpha Theta. Maisie does not go with the rest of the group. She remains at her sorority. 9:21, that would be it, that it supposedly leaves Kappa Alpha Theta. Then at 9:24, Explorer, believed to be driven by Ethan, stops at Sigma Chi. Let me tell you something. If Jack Katovich was a sober driver that night, and it should explain why Ethan paid Jack Katovich that night, it was like, can you drive my Explorer? You know, I don't know. But at 9:24, the Explorer, believed to be driven by Ethan, 9:24, stops at Sigma Chi. Stops at Sigma Chi. At 9:25, the Explorer, believing to be driven by Ethan, leaves Sigma Chi a minute later. The Explorer, believed to be driven by Ethan, at 9:27, arrives back at 1122 King Road. At 9:31, Dylan calls Xana. 9:39, Ethan receives notification. Kruger Den, Dylan, Maddie, and Bethany enter new chats. Bethany adds Ethan to the group. That's at 9:39. Ethan sends Hunter Johnson a Snapchat. Drinking with Xana and Bethany. Come hang with. And that's just it. Just come hang with. At 9:23 or at 9:26. Which is out of order from all this shit. Remember, I was like, you guys, this shit's just out of order. Why do we have to put it out of order? Because they realize that when they put it actually in order, if you put it that Ethan sends Hunter Johnson a snap message that says drinking with Xana and Bethany, come hang, and actually put it in order, then that's like, well, then Ethan can't be the one that's driving the Ford Explorer. Ethan doesn't have the Ford Explorer. And then according to Bethany here, okay, Bethany just has no idea what's truly going on because she's in the boat that a freshman and Ethan were at her house prior to leaving to go to Sigma Chi party, but yet they're at the Hunga Dunga Brewery, clearly. And then she kind of realizes, she's like, oh wait, no, me and Maddie went, and like we meet them there at Sigma Chi. Okay. All right. And the only way that you could have met them at Sigma Chi means that Ethan couldn't have been driving the Explorer back to King, because he sends a snap to Hunter and says that he is with you and Xana. Come hang. And that's at 9:26. Let's just continue on to see what more bullshit she... Oh, wait. Why can't I hear this? Hold on. We're going to have to... This is crazy. This is nuts. This is crazy. Hold on. I got to go out and come back in because I can't hear it.
And that's her last name?
Mm-hmm.
So what's her actual first name?
Yessie.
Or something like that.
You have it spelled there?
No, it just says
Yeah, it just goes by though.
the sorority house.
Do you have a phone number for her?
Yes.
All of this is redacted.
Okay. So what time did he show up, do you think? Can you recall?
Text me, I think.
Dylan.
Around 10 something.
Okay. So she shows up around 10. What do you guys do next?
We hung out there a little longer.
Okay.
And then we went into like the main party.
Do you remember what time? Who all went with you to the main?
Just me and we left to go to that main.
Do you remember what time that was?
No.
How long, if you had to estimate it or whatnot, do you think that he was with, once we showed up, how long after that until you guys went upstairs? Did it seem like a long time, short period?
45 minutes, 30.
Okay. Was still there at that point?
I can't remember actually.
Okay.
And then Xana and Ethan were later. I hung out with them a little at the main thing for a little, but mostly with you. And then me and you left.
Okay. Do you roughly remember when you saw Ethan and Xana up at the house? The main portion of the common room?
Not really. But I remember right before I left with you, I grabbed my backpack from the room and they were both sitting in there.
They were.
Hunter said he went to bed and they were both sitting in Hunter's room. Did you hear that? When I went to Hunter's room to grab my backpack, pack. They were in Hunter's room.
Yeah.
Do you remember what time that was?
Hunter said he went to bed at 10.
It was after 12:17.
After 12:17, you guys, but really I think she's looking at that's 12:17 Boise time and that Nevada time 12:17. What?
AM.
After. How are you determining that? Can you ask her why she's saying after that?
Were they in there by themselves, or was there anyone else in there?
From my knowledge, it was just them sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Okay.
It was just them on the couch. Then where is Hunter? Wait, what?
With you. I grabbed my backpack from when they were both sitting in there.
They were.
Yeah.
Do you remember what time that was?
It was after 12:17 AM.
Now, Natalie Fitzgerald is saying, like, Bethany was at, oh my God. So listen to this. So basically, Bethany's lying about the fact that she left the Sigma Chi party at 10:30 to go to Natalie's, hang out for a couple hours, then went back to Sigma Chi to get her book bag. Because this is more like what it would make it seem like if she's walking past and like Natalie just doesn't understand. Because like I said, like at 12:30, if they would have left, if she would have left, then she walks back to Sigma Chi to actually get her drinks. I got to go get my drinks. Like that's where all my drinks are. You guys, can you believe the fact that Blaker's sitting here in an interview and this girl's looking through her phone and he doesn't say, hey, we're going to need to download your phone? We didn't do a Celebrite last time. Would you consent to that? We didn't do a full file extraction. We didn't have the capabilities. So here now we do. Remember, Hunter supposedly loses his phone. Same with Molly. No phones. Hunter's missing.
Okay. Were they in there by themselves, or was there anyone else in there?
From my knowledge, it was just them sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, those rooms are so small. Like his own apartment has a couch and then there's just like a bed right there. You didn't see Hunter sleeping right there in bed. Do you understand? Well, the only thing that matches for Miss Kennedy's story is that they didn't walk back like they were going home. They walked like they were continuing on because what it seemed like they did is they went back to Sigma Chi. They went back to Sigma Chi. Bethany at least did.
And then you and you go to.
Back to.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait.
Go to.
Back to.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, then we go back to Allie's. You hear that? It's exactly what they did. We went back to Allie's.
From my knowledge, it was just them sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Okay. And then you and you go to.
Back to.
Yeah. Okay.
Allie Benson.
At this point, I wasn't there. Just.
At this point,
Wasn't there. Just. At this point, I wasn't there. Just.
at this point, Allie wasn't there. Just who?
Okay. Who else was it when you got there?
Our friend.
My friend Haley.
Male or female?
Male.
Oh wait, who then? Hayden. Our friend Hayden.
From my knowledge, it was just them sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Okay. And then you and go to.
Back to.
Yeah. Okay.
At this point, I wasn't there. Just.
Okay. Who else was it when you got there?
Our friend.
Male or female?
Male. And then I don't really know the other kids that were there, but it wasn't very many other ones.
Was there at all?
No. She was there, but she left before I did.
Okay.
Before I got there.
Was Dylan there? Was Dylan there at all? She was, but she left before I got there.
So how long were you at this go around?
See, when he says like this go around. Oh my God, this go around. This go around, because you were there earlier when you went there with Xana.
Very long. I left earlier and walked back by myself and got home around 1-ish, say.
What the fuck? I walked back by myself. I mean, dude, this is, you guys see when we can like, when everyone's like, Lana, why aren't you producing anything with your documentary? Because I need all the material so that I can then tell you guys a story. Because that's exactly what my documentary is going to do. My documentary is going to tell a story. The story that has not been told ever, not once. Okay? And unlike all of this other bullshit that we get, I'm going to connect all the dots and lay this out that there's a huge fucking problem because it was right in front of the investigators' faces. They thought this was an isolated, targeted attack.
And when you got home, who was there?
Just.
When you got home, who was there?
Just
Dylan? When you got home, who was there? Just Dylan?
And they were
watching Vampire Diaries.
Dylan and Lakeland. Just Dylan and Lakeland. When I got home, who was there? Just Dylan and Lakeland. So Bethany Funke is the one who's placing. Bethany Funke is the one who's placing Ethan and Xana at the Sigma Chi house at 12:17. Now, let's take a look at 12:17. 12:16. Ethan calls, I'm sorry, 12:16. You guys, I'm going to fall over. Fucking A. 12:16. The minute before she wants to use and say, at 12:16, Xana calls Ethan unanswered. It just says Ethan misses a call from Lil Noodle. That's what he called Lil Noodle Xana. And page 108 on Ethan's cell phone. Literally the next minute, Bethany sees Ethan and Xana in Peter's. Why are they saying Peter's apartment? Hunter, Peter. Peter's apartment before leaving. Why are they saying Peter's apartment? I think it's Hunter's apartment because that's where she went to put her drinks in. Bethany sees Ethan and Xana in Peter's apartment before leaving. You guys, Xana is calling Ethan and Ethan doesn't answer. Xana calls Ethan, unanswered missed call. This is all lies. This is all extending people's life. And I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but this is crazy. Bethany sees Ethan and Xana in Peter's apartment before leaving. Bethany and Yessie walked to Allie's house on Taylor, where Allie, Jenna, Hayden, Kennedy, and Yessie were the only people at the house. That's at 12:17. At 12:20, a text from Xana to Pistol Pete. You good? If Xana and Ethan were in Peter's apartment, Xana is texting Peter, who wasn't in there. You good? At 12:20. Bethany calls Jenna McClure on FaceTime and has a 22-second call. Why the fuck would Bethany call Jenna McClure if she's with Jenna McClure and going to Allie's house on Taylor, where Allie, Jenna, Hayden, Kennedy, and Yessie were the only people at the house. So she cannot possibly be with Jenna McClure if she's calling Jenna McClure. Remember this at 12:31. Bethany calls Jenna McClure on FaceTime and has a 22-second call. Bethany's cell phone, page 54. At 12:31, at the same time of that FaceTime, at 12:31, a white/light colored sedan heading eastbound on Lauder passing Ridge Road. At 12:43, Ethan receives notification from Erica. You're getting cheated on. Bethany walks home from Allie's house on Taylor. Time confirmed by Jenna McClure. When she gets there, only Dylan and Lakeland McComas were at the house. They watched Vampire Diaries. Again, Ethan and Xana now allegedly have, they don't know what's going on because now they're placing a 116 call again. Ethan calls Xana, or Xana calls Ethan, not answered. And I'm like, they have all their times wrong because it's showing up not on people's phones like that. Bethany's, this is on Xana's cell, is at 116. So Xana called at 12:16. It says Ethan cell page 108 that the Xana calls Ethan and it was unanswered was at, then this was, I was just like, they have the times wrong because it is in his cell, but I was like, dude, these people suck. These people suck so bad. They have no clue what they're doing. Or they do because look at.
So up in the main living room area.
Okay. So I want to back
she
up.
Came later because she had to finish homework.
Okay.
I can tell you after.
Okay. Where did you go to? Because there's the individual apartments and then there's the main portion of the house.
Well, actually, me and Maddie left first.
Okay.
They weren't that far behind us, though. They were just a little behind us.
Okay.
And we went to our friend's room to put our drinks in there. Our friend's room to put our drinks in there.
Okay, so she did. She put her drinks in Peter's room. Perfect. Peter.
And then we sat there for a second, but then went and found Xana and Ethan in Ethan's brother's apartment.
Okay. Okay.
And then we hung out with Ethan, Xana, and Ethan's brother
Yeah.
for a while.
Okay.
And then people would like come in and out and just say hi and talk and stuff. And then Maddie said that she was leaving to go to the club.
So according to Bethany, Maddie was in Hunter Chapin's room.
Where was Kaylee at this time?
At her house getting ready to go to the club.
So Kaylee never came over with you?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So then Maddie presumably then walked from there back to your place and then they left?
Yes.
What time was that at?
I do not know. It was, I can tell you after time. It was after about 9:09, but
Sometime after 9:09?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you don't ask her what happened at 9:09 that you're saying that this is after that. No shit, Sherlock, because they just started walking there at 9. I mean, fucking A. I mean, just, or was it like, no, we actually started walking there more at like 8. Okay, because the party in the lodge wasn't at 9. So, but we went over there a little earlier. But then I'm able to realize it's just like, God, bunch of fucking idiots. How can these people solve anything when they don't ask any questions to understand what somebody is saying to them? Like, wait a second. Like, I'm trying to understand this. So you would have to like, oh my God, just fucking A. Like, Blaker, you can't possibly be following any of this because none of it makes sense if you're actually writing it and you would look at the times of everything. And then why wouldn't you just say, I see you're noticing like you're looking at your phone. Like, we would love to be able to get that so we can get all these timestamps accurate. Because like you just said, Blaker, you're going to have a defense attorney that's going to try to poke holes at all this shit. And so are we recreating the memory of Bethany? Or does Bethany remember any of this? Or is she just going off of text messages? What's going on here? We're going to need your phone. We're going to have to do a full file extraction. We want to use the software, the tools, Cellrite. Okay, maybe Gray Key. I mean, but we need to do a full file extraction. Do we have your consent to do that? And then this would include any and all calls and text messages after the fact, on 11/13 after the fact, 14th, 15th, and now here up to the 16th. Wouldn't you do that? Yes, anybody in their right mind would do that, but not here in Moscow.
So you're now still in its apartment, right?
Yes.
So now it's you is still there?
Came a little later. Oh, I guess she didn't leave with us. She came later because she had to finish homework.
Okay. So now at this point it's you, Zana, Ethan, all hanging out in the place.
Yeah, and Hunter was there too.
Okay.
And Hunter's there too.
And then
came, I believe. I don't really remember what time she came. And then one of my friends, he came.
do you know last name? I think that was the one you couldn't tell me last time.
Her full name is something else, but it's super long.
And that's her last name?
Mm-hmm.
So what's her actual first name?
Fuck off, Blaker.
Or something like that.
Do you have it spelled there?
No, and it just says.
Yeah, it just goes by though.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where you lives?
She lives at the sorority house.
Wait, what? She lives at the sorority house. Okay.
Do you have a phone number for her?
Yes.
Okay. So what time did she show up, do you think? Can you recall?
Text me.
What time did Dylan show up?
Around 10 something.
shows up around 10. What do you guys do next?
We hung out there a little longer.
Okay.
And then we went into like the main party.
Do you remember what time? Who all went with you to the main?
Just me and we left to go to that main.
Do you remember what time that was?
No.
Right there.
How long?
Just me and Yessie left to go to the main party. You guys, Dylan calls Maddie at 9:18. That would mean that she couldn't have seen her yet. Remember when they crossed paths? That's at 9:18. 9:21, the Explorer, believed to be driven by Ethan, leaves Kappa Alpha Theta. Maisie doesn't go in with the rest of them. 3 minutes later, the Explorer stops at Sigma Chi. 1 minute later, the Explorer, believed to be driven by Ethan, leaves Sigma Chi. But guess what? 1 minute after that, at 9:26, Ethan sends Hunter Johnson a snap message. Drinking with Xana and Bethany. Come hang with. At 9:26. So he didn't leave on the Explorer. So somebody's driving this Explorer to go do what? Who's driving the Explorer and what are they doing? Well, guess what? Explorer, believing to be driven by Ethan, arrives at 1122 King. How are you putting it there at 1122 King at 9:27? Dylan calls Xana at 9:31. If that was true, if the Explorer got back and it was really with Ethan, and then, because we already have home tits here, Bethany saying like, no, like, Ethan was there with a freshman. Remember that shit? But why would Dylan call Xana at 9:31? Well, because why? They have to use Xana's phone. Dylan calls Xana because Dylan's not possibly with Xana yet. And there's no way they're at the house together. All this bullshit with the logs. I can't wait to see this shit. This is all crazy talk.
If you had to estimate it or whatnot, do you think that he was with, once we showed up, how long after that until you guys went upstairs? Did it seem like a long time, short period?
45 minutes, 30.
Okay. Was still there at that point?
I can't remember actually.
Okay.
And then Xana and Ethan were later. I hung out with them a little at the main thing for a little, but mostly with you. And then me and you left.
Okay. Do you roughly remember when you saw Ethan and Xana up at the house? The main portion of it?
Not really. But I remember right before I left with you, I grabbed my backpack from when they were both sitting in there.
They were.
Yeah.
Do you remember what time that was?
It was after 12:17 a.m.
Okay. Were they in there by themselves, or was there anyone else in there?
From my knowledge, it was just them sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Okay. And then you and you go to.
Back to.
Yeah. Okay.
At this point, I wasn't there, just.
Wait, what did she say right there? Who wasn't there?
Wasn't there, just. Sitting on the couch. Yeah.
Okay. And then you and go to...
Back to...
Yeah, okay.
At this point, I wasn't there, just...
Who else was it when you got there?
Our friend,
Male or female?
Male.
Yeah, Hayden. I was right. Bethany sees Ethan and Xana, and then she says, before leaving, Bethany and Yessie walk to Allie's house on Taylor, where Allie, Jenna, Hayden, Kennedy, and Yessie were the only people at the house. Let's see how many names she named.
Okay. Who else was it when you got there?
He goes, who else was at Kennedy's house when you got there? Okay, you hear that? That's what he says.
Okay. Who else was it when you got there?
Jenna.
Our friend
Hayden.
Male or female?
Male. And then I don't really know the other kids that were there, but it wasn't very many other ones.
There wasn't very many other people. So she says that there's other people, but I don't really know who those people were. So it says, she hasn't said, it says here, we're the only people at the house. Do you guys understand that the Hayden that I believe that she's talking about is the Hayden? So think about this. Hayden, who's in the Grub Truck video with the sweatshirt, the weird sweatshirt, the Dutch, he's got the long hair. He's also with the sign guy. That's the Hayden I believe that she's talking about.
Was there at all?
No. She was there, but she left before I did.
Okay.
Before I got there.
Okay. So how long were you at this go around?
Not very long. I left earlier and walked back by myself and got home around 1-ish, say.
According to this, Dylan calls for a sobro ride for her and Lake because Lake is very intoxicated. They go back to 1122 King and watch Vampire Diaries. That's at 1:15 to 1:30. And I'm like, that's just totally not the right time. It's more like 12:15 to 12:30. Then Bethany walks home from Allie's house on Taylor. Time confirmed by Jenna McClure. When she gets there, only Dylan and Lakeling McComas were at the house. They watched Vampire Diaries. So Jenna McClure is who's confirming this time of Bethany leaving at 1. So how fucking hammered was this Natalie Fitzgerald? Or how is Jenna confirming this? Okay, now let's get into. She's home at her house.
Who was there?
Just
Okay, does she go like this after she gives that answer?
And when you got home, who was there?
just
That was Blaker that sniffed. How do you know that? How do you know that Xana and Ethan were not home? That's the question to ask there. Well, how do you know that it's just those two?
They were
watching Vampire Diaries.
so in the main living room area. Okay. What happened after that?
Then I came home and we watched Vampire Diaries for a little.
And they were already watching it though when you
Yeah.
got there? Okay.
And then left.
Wait, did you just hear that? She's basically saying it's like an out-of-body experience or something. He's like, what happened next? Well, then I came home. What? So she just told Dylan's story about her and Lakeland getting home and watching Vampire Diaries, and that Ethan and Xana were not there. Do you understand that? She has no personal knowledge of that Ethan and Xana were not there, because then she says, well, then I got home. What? You just said that you got there. What the fuck are you talking about? Then I got home. Okay.
Remember about what time she left?
I do not. After 1:21-ish.
Why do you say that?
I just have a picture with them at 1:21.
With?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when you're referencing these times, you're able to recall them because you have photos? And so, when you say it's after
when
this
it's like
time.
a specific time.
Yeah, are your photos timestamped?
It's just on Snapchat, so it says, like, when you hold it down, it will say, like,
It'll show what time
it was, yeah.
Okay, so it shows what
This is all Snapchat. Oh my God.
time the photo was taken or what time it was posted.
What time it was taken.
Okay.
No, it's wrong. Oh my God. Holy shit. Those are Snapchat. Oh my God. It's when it's posted. Oh my God. You guys, this is crazy. This is nuts. Snapchat, if you're posting something, that is when you post it. There is no, you could take a picture and not upload it. You could take an old picture and upload it. Holy ballsack.
So then, and that's how you're refreshing to see the time periods that you're giving us on your photos?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So, then left shortly after you took the photo at 1:21.
She left after that photo.
Okay, so you took the photo.
Further.
She didn't take the fucking photo. Do you not listen to her, Blaker? She didn't take that photo. Bethany didn't take that photo. She is looking at someone's, Snapchat.
And then she left. What happened next?
And Maddie and Kaylee came home. Well, I went to her room and I was just watching the show by myself.
Dylan went to her room and I was just watching the show by myself, and then they came home. So that's when you were having your chips on the couch. That's when you indulged in your chips, Bethany, right? You were hungry. And why did you say, and that's when Bethany and Kaylee came home? Why aren't you saying that you saw their snaps, and yet you called Maddie and she didn't answer? I called Maddie, she didn't answer. Then Maddie just walks to the door.
Her room is on the main floor, right?
Yeah.
Right
so
next
it's
to
like right
the
behind the
stairs.
couch.
Okay.
And then Kaylee and Maddie came home.
Do you remember what time that was at?
Well, I should know. I can remember because I called her right before she got home because I wanted her to get me mac and cheese, as I was a hungry motherfucking bitch.
Around 2-ish.
Around 2-ish, you have the call.
Okay.
They got home around 2-ish.
Were they by themselves?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Did they say how they got home?
I remember them mentioning something when we were upstairs. Of how they got home.
Okay. So you get home around 2, you're still watching Vampire Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
But from our conversation earlier, then you go upstairs?
Yeah, then Jen came back, and then me, Kaylee, and Maddie were all on. Yeah, then Jen came back, and then me.
Wait, then who came back? Wait, what? Then Dylan came back? Wait, what?
Earlier, then you go upstairs?
Yeah, then Jen came back, and then me, Kaylee, and Maddie were all on Kaylee's bed, just hanging out.
Okay.
And you're on Kaylee's?
Mm-hmm.
From the bigger bedroom upstairs?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a photo about what time that might have been by chance?
Yes. Around 2:02.
Around 2:02.
2:02.
And did you, when they got home, did you guys go straight upstairs? Or
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
I believe. Or I can remember. And then we were hanging out there for a little while Kaylee was like getting ready for bed, I believe. And then
What do you mean you believe?
we went, or Maddie and Tim went downstairs. I can't remember if Kaylee came down too, but me and Maddie took Murphy out to pee. And I was out there for like 10 seconds and like put something away in my cabinet and then grabbed some chips.
I was out there for like 10 seconds. Yeah, because Molly was out there. Molly's got a gun. I was out there for like 10 seconds and then I saw Molly and ran for the hills. I was out there for like 10 seconds and I saw that fucking undercovers were out there and I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm gone. Like these motherfuckers. I was out there for like 10 seconds. I put something in my cupboard and then I grabbed my chips.
And then I went back downstairs to go to bed.
I didn't say goodnight to any of my roommates. Okay, we always would say goodnight to each other in college. Like you got your roommates and you're just like, all right, I'm going to bed. Good night. Like, love you guys. See you in the morning. Okay. I went outside for 10 seconds. I came back in. I put something in my cupboard and then I grabbed my chips and then I go downstairs. But yet my chips never come with me.
Okay. Remember what time you put Murphy out?
No.
Was it fairly soon after this 2:02 thing, or was it much kind of like a half hour, 25 hour?
I honestly have no idea.
You have no idea when you took Murphy out.
Time a little fuzzy on at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Little fuzzy.
But you do remember being up there for a while, at least long enough for Kaylee to get completely changed.
Yes. Yeah.
Did Maddie change during that time period too?
Not that I can remember.
Okay.
Bingo. So Maddie was outside. Think about this. So Maddie goes outside in her regular clothes because Maddie was changed. So Maddie goes outside in her regular clothes. According to Bethany here.
So then, go ahead.
When you saw them come home, was there anything about their demeanor or behavior that was different?
They weren't really happy. That's all I remember.
What was their level of sobriety?
I was probably the drunkest I've seen Maddie in a long time, in a while. I don't know about Kaylee. She can.
You said you hadn't seen Maddie that drunk for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. In a while. I don't know about Kaylee. She can
What? I don't know about Kaylee. She can handle her liquor?
You said you hadn't seen Maddie that drunk for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. She doesn't usually get that drunk.
But you couldn't tell with Kaylee.
Not really.
So after you step out for 10 seconds, she grabbed a few things and then went downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do when you got to your room?
I watched the show for a little. I don't remember how long I watched it though.
I watched this show for a little. I don't know how long I watched it. It was my iPad. Where was that located?
And then I just went to bed.
And the name of that show again was?
Baby Daddy?
Do you remember the episode?
Nope.
No.
And how were you watching it?
On my iPad.
And was it through your Hulu, Netflix? Hulu. Okay. And is that a Hulu account you have?
Yes.
Is it your account that you pay for, or is it your parents?
My parents pay for it.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
How much of it you think you watched?
I don't know, because I don't know if I started it, I already watched some of it and then started it again.
Do you remember the episode finishing and then you falling asleep, or did you fall asleep during it?
I shut off the computer and then went to bed. That's all I remember.
I shut off the computer.
Okay.
I've never referred to my iPad as a computer in my entire life. I shut off my computer. But there is a computer in the other room, isn't there?
I don't know if I started it, like I already watched some of it and then started it again.
Do you remember the episode finishing and then you falling asleep, or did you fall asleep during it?
I shut off the computer and then went to bed. That's all I remember.
Okay.
Because I thought I was tired.
So, computer or iPad?
Oh, iPad, sorry. I just used it as my computer, so.
No, it's fine.
While I was watching it, though, Maddie came down and knocked on my door, but it was locked. And she asked if I had Murphy with me because she lost him. And I said no.
How did she know that she lost Murphy? Oh, Maddie came down. Oh, she's like, oh, Maddie came to my room and asked. She doesn't remember that. Oh, Maddie called you at 2:52 a.m. Maddie. Oh, Maddie came. I just call my iPad. You didn't just call it your computer. You just called it your iPad. Then you just called it your computer. So please spare me that. That's bullshit. Oh, and then Maddie told me that she lost Murphy, and I didn't give a fuck. Like that.
Was that shortly after you started it, or quite a ways after you started it?
I don't remember.
What?
I would say maybe shortly after.
Do you normally lock your door?
Yes, I lock it every night.
Okay.
So her door is locked, so she doesn't come in. Her door is locked, so then you had to get up to unlock it for Dylan, though. Locked. Maddie came there and asked me if I had.
What's the next thing you remember?
And then the next thing I remember, I woke up because I heard like a firecracker type noise. Then I saw like a little sparkler or something under the door. And then it like kind of went out. And then it's all like, I don't know, I was still half asleep and still pretty like, I don't know, tipsy, I'd say. And then I just didn't really know what was happening. And then I remember either called me or I called her. And she said that she thought she saw someone and like wearing all black. And I said, well, Santa wasn't wearing all black. Maybe she just like ran by or something. And then she said, well, I thought he had like a ski mask on. And then I was like, and then I just didn't really know what to think of that. I thought maybe she was like just seeing stuff because me and her got scared a lot from stuff like that. And, or like maybe one of Ethan's frat bros was like just playing around or something. And then I told her to come down to my room if she was scared because it's better than being alone. So then she ran down to my room. And I tried to call them. None of them were answering, so I thought they would just like were asleep or something because I've called them before late at night when I was scared and they usually don't answer. And then we fell asleep. I woke up early.
She never told you that she saw Xana passed out on the fucking ground?
So before we keep going there, you said you called them.
Yes.
Can you look up to see exactly what times all those phone calls came in?
Why don't you fucking download her phone?
Yeah.
And you already downloaded her phone. You just didn't do a full file, so you like have all those times.
4:19 and 4:20.
You called her or she called you?
I don't remember.
It should show on your phone line.
I don't know what that means.
Hey, look.
Yeah.
So she called. So you called her at 4:19, and it was a 33-second or 23-second call, and then she called you at 4:20, and it was 41 seconds.
So, ready for this? Where is there any calls in between where Dylan supposedly, after they talked that Dylan is calling?
You called her first,
and then she called you back. Okay.
And then I called Xana.
Wait a second. When you called her at 4:19, what did you say to her?
I said, "Did you hear that? Like, because I thought like the sparkler or whatever." And she said, "I think she said yes." And I said,
And she said yes. And she said yes. I heard a firecracker. Did you hear that? Yes, I heard that firecracker. And then I saw a sparkler underneath my door. So Bethany's like, yeah, fucking Dylan was like, hell yeah, I saw that. Hell yeah, I heard that, I mean. Did you hear that? Yes, I heard that.
"What was it?" I said, "Did you hear that? Like, because I thought like the sparkler or whatever." And she said, "I think she said yes."
Oh, wait, I think she says yes. I think she says yes. I think she says yes. I think she says yes.
I said, "What was it?"
What was that? What was that?
I didn't know.
Did you guys hang up then?
She didn't know. I don't know what that was.
I don't remember. Apparently, I got hung up,
And then she called you
and then
right
she
back.
called me again. I guess.
And then during that conversation,
I don't
Was
really
that when
remember.
she
I think
talked
that's
about-
when she talked about the guy.
seeing someone in the house and that.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine.
That's what I would imagine that would have happened. What? That's when I would imagine. Do you recall from your personal recollection? No, as I don't think she ever said it.
We also had texts.
We also had text. There it is.
Is that when she told you that she saw someone dressed in black?
I think, or from the text, I don't really remember.
When did
the
you?
calls.
Can you look at your text then to see if she texted you that information? Just if it was before that call.
No, and it was after. Let's see what's in her phone. Let's see what's.
Around 4:22, so it was after the call.
Exactly. How could she have seen him at 4:22? The car has already sped away. That's my point. And fucking Mr. Nevada, who's over there asking the questions that Blaker won't. Boom, bitch, sit down. 4:22. But how about this? It's just all, oh, this is what I saw earlier. Like, that just happened way earlier. And now the best part about all of this is wait a second. I thought pretty much at 4 a.m., just a little bit thereafter, Dylan is saying she woke up to, I didn't wake up to anything. I was awake. I was going to go to bed because I heard Kaylee say it's time, like she was going to bed and her and Murphy were, singing and dancing in the living room. And then they go upstairs. So I'm like, okay, it's my turn to go to bed. Like, this is what Dylan's story is. And then when she went to bed, then, so this is where you would say, oh, so Dylan never told you. Kaylee said there's someone here. Like, are these people fucking high? Lily Shaw, it's not the girl's it's not her Snapchat though. And no, it stores both. In Snapchat, it stores both. Because it depends on if the photo was taken in Snapchat to even begin with, or you can upload. So there's going to be two different metas. There's going to be, if you're in Snapchat and you take a photo, there's the meta. If then you're in Snapchat and you then upload it, there's the meta. There's going to be two different metadatas behind that. Unless it was a snap picture and an immediate post to a person or a story. And that would require, and so there's different folders. And trust me, AI, I wouldn't be focused on what AI is going to be telling you about fucking Snapchat. Anyways, this is absolutely craziness. This is absolute craziness because right here, Blaker knows the story that Dylan is the person who's supposedly alerting everybody and what she heard and somebody's here and Kaylee's saying this shit. This is all a bunch of crap. But again, we're putting together a timeline that actually makes sense and none of this shit makes sense. And Dylan was not going to alert anybody to anything. Bethany happens to call Dylan, right? If Dylan heard this stuff earlier and is screaming out, hey, oh my God, I'm yelling for their names and blah, blah, blah. This is crazy. Okay. It's Dylan that's running all over up there. It's Dylan that's can't believe what she's seeing. Why? I have no idea. Why can't it be Dylan that knocked over the beer pong table? Dylan, oh my God, is in the room looking at, holy shit, what the fuck is going on here? Dylan's the one that's awake. Dylan's saving phone calls or contacts at 351. This is wild. And then, hey, Bethany, so you're going to sit here and tell me that when she got down to your room, she doesn't tell you, oh, I saw Xana was passed out on the floor. What? Like crazy. Like she doesn't say that?
I do though. Thank you.
Bethany is putting Ethan and Xana in the same room together at 12, 17, 16. Well, Xana's phone is placing a phone call to Ethan at the same damn time. You guys, this is crazy. Bethany is just running all around back and forth to the treehouse, to the Sigma Chi. I mean, you would have to ask those questions, like if you're going back and forth. Fitzgerald just has no concept of time. None of these people do. And these detectives, instead of asking and figuring out what people, you have to get their phones. And then you're going to know all the shit. That's what you do in investigations. Like, hey, everybody has their times all wrong. We're going to need your phones to see when you're texting people, when you're calling people. Then we're going to have to do full file extractions. But guess what? They didn't do any of it. None of it. And so therefore, if you're going to try to beef up the credibility of your witnesses, you want the phones. If they match what they were saying, it's like, look at this. This is great. But hey, let's just not go and get that information because we know that it's not going to match up. And so therefore we're fucked with the credibility of our witnesses. But Blaker's like, we're trying to get in front of that. How do you get in front of that? Explain how do you get in front of that? The only way that you can get in front of that is you vet if it's credible or not, if the witness is credible or not. But how are you saying that? At 2:51, for whatever reason, Bethany knows I don't want anything to do with anything that's going on between 2 and 4 a.m. Bethany knows this. Not between 4 and 4:20. Bethany is like, I came home and went to bed. I came home and I went to bed. Nothing happened between 2 and 4. Everything was fine. Funny, because where the fuck are Ethan and Xana? Where are they? To this day, there is not a single piece of evidence that says and points to when Ethan and Xana got home that's been revealed to anybody. So we're all playing guess. Like, what do their phones say? Nobody's connecting to the Wi-Fi that they have programmed in their phones. When did Ethan and Xana connect to the Wi-Fi at 1122 King Road? When did any of these people connect to the Wi-Fis? When did any of them get off the Wi-Fi and then maybe come back on it? Get the fuck up out of here. And on that note, keep online in Idaho because that's the only way. We appreciate you guys. If you just joined, go rewind it. Go listen to the new interview by Kennedy Fitzgerald that just literally puts a huge, oh my God, into everybody's story. Everybody's just doesn't know anything. Then when you don't know stuff, you go to the phone data. And what did they do? They buried the phone data. We'll see you on the next one.